She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh as a bright blue sky. Now and then when I see her face, she takes me away to that special place. And if I stare too long, I'll probably break down and cry. Oh, sweet child of mine. Oh, sweet love of mine. All right, little Guns N' Roses today, Sweet Child O' Mine. So I'm going to go through, I've got more of this song, I'm going to put them at the end. I'm mixing in some of the lead lines and the bridge in the end. But for now, let's focus on the beginning. The setup is one of the critical parts of this one. See, it's a little funky, right? In drop D tuning, that's it. So nothing too fancy on the tuning. It's 440 up until here. So all good. And then I've got my capo at the 7th fret. So this is kind of gives me, if you were to play a D, like a bar chord here, you know, these are all D, and then this is D. So we got a shop full of Ds here at this setup. But this isn't going, the capo isn't hitting the 7th fret of the E string that's been lowered to the D. It's open. So a couple things that we get out of that. One, we get the drone. This song's got that D drone. It's actually D sharp, but we're going to do it in D because most people are tuned to that in standard. And it gives us that, but it also gives us these high lead lines that are happening all over the place, and we can blend them in pretty easy. So this is kind of the bread and butter of this one right here. So all we're doing, and I'm going to call the frets out like this is the nut. So all you're going to fret to begin with this song is you're going to fret on the A string on the 3rd fret. And then you're going to do this. So you're going to hit the open D and then G, B, A. That's it. And then down here, you're going to fret the B string and you're going to roll between that and the D. On and off. And again, the whole thing. And it's important you let all these things ring out, because even slow, so melodic with everything ringing in. That's it. So the right hand is going to keep that picking pattern, but you're going to do the descending line. With every one of these, you're going to hit that. You're going to hit that walk down. So that D, C, and G kind of pattern. If you play it in open chords, which means the first one you're going to fret the 3rd fret, and you're going to use your long finger or the one next to your ring. So open, 3rd fret on the root, same pattern on the right hand. Then half a step down, 2nd fret. And then open. And we're going to add this in. And all that is just fretting the G string on the 2nd fret and toggling against the D. Open, or the open D. That's it. But with everything else ringing, it really carries it through. Again, it's important keep those low notes going, because that's the beauty of this setup. So that's kind of the verse, and then that nice little bass line comes in. I've taken all the lines of the songs and kind of mixed the lead lines in. You'll see more at the end of the video, but for this one, it's so prominent that you got to do it as part of the song. So you're basically fretting the 2nd fret on the A string, and again, because these are all D, you can play with those guys and kind of ring them out. Just give them a little juice, but that's all you're doing here is you're going from the 2nd, fret the 3rd, and I slide up to the 5th. But again, I hit the pattern is that's it. So and then this one is a pull off on the D string. pull off, and then you're going to go on the A string on the 3rd to 2nd pull off. And I don't even fret that, I just hit one hit. And then you're going to hit the G string, or the G chord, anyway, whatever it is. It's the B string on the 1st fret, and that E string on the 3rd fret. So again, the first one is just in there. And use your pinky to get this. Your pinky and your long finger. And then to go down a fret on the low string. You can do this a number of ways. This one, if you got small hands, you can... I have trouble squeezing them all in there to get that same riff, but on this part. So I just go, just pull it down, slide it down, or you can do, go up to that high B. If you want, the riff is actually, but it's in there, and when you get out of those, you're basically into the verse. So, and because this is D again, the first chord it takes one hand. So, and this is the pattern I use. You can kind of see it rather than me call it out. She's got a smile that it seems to me. Same chords again. So this is going to be your C. Reminds me of childhood memories. And again, that's the B on the 1st fret and the E string on the 3rd fret, and then you're going to drop it down this to the 2nd, and everything else stays. Childhood memories where everything was as fresh as the bright blue sky. Back to the riff. Now and then when I see her face, she takes me away. Now you can do a double pinch there to start. Takes me away to that, whatever you want to do. Probably break down and cry. And I put that riff in, again from the beginning back before the chorus. And then it's, oh, sweet child of mine. So that one is, it's an A chord, but it's going to be shaped like a D in this conglomeration we got here. And you have to fret on the 7th fret here. So this thing's open, but you don't have to. You can play it high, but you lose the root. You lose a nice fat root, and there's an opportunity. So that's why when I put this capo here, I put it as far to the left without things buzzing. But oh, and then this chord is the C, which is again the E string. It's now the low D, but anyways, this one on the 3rd fret, open on the A string, D string on the 3rd fret, open G string, and then B string on the 1st fret. And then I'm basically just playing that pattern. Oh, sweet child of mine. Back to the riff. So I kind of throw this in, which is this pattern, and it's just slid up 2 frets. And from here, there's going to be 2 sections. So I'll get into the breakout of the lead section. So let me play it a little bit first. All right, you do that once, and then you're into the 2nd verse. But it's coming off of here. And the trick is, I like to kind of get, and you're just hitting the B string on the 3rd fret to the 1st and open. But you're hitting the low D or E when you're at the 1st fret. And now, this is one of the harder parts. You have to play this riff with your pinky. You're out of fingers. Again, the riff's the same, but the walk down's different. So, and then it finishes with this. You can play that just literally just the notes, because you're going to have this drone D hanging in there. And she's got eyes as the bluest sky. So back into the verse. And if they fell for rain, I hate to look into those eyes and see an ounce of pain. And it does the verse, and then it goes back to, oh, sweet child of mine. Sweet love of mine. Now, key change. All right, so what that is all about, same spot up here. And then you're just hitting that. You're going to hit the B string and hammer, and then when it's pulled off, you're going to hit the A string, and then you're going to fret this G string at the 2nd fret, and same walk down, so the same pattern again. And then this chord, this A chord. Your tendency is to want to go, but you can't do that. You got to make sure you capture this A, because the song has changed keys. So, and this is sort of your gateway into the fast part. And then it builds up. That's it. And then it goes into where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go? Where do we go now? Sweet child, sweet child, all that stuff, right? Child of mine. Okay, what's that? That's an A minor chord, but you're not going to play this root. You're going to just kind of mute it with your big chubba thumb, and you can pick this if you want to be all melodic, if it's a coffee house kind of thing. Where do we go? Where do we go now? All the same familiar chords, but A minor, and then you're going to go to a C here. Again, keep this plugged. Where do we go? And then this form of the A. Where do we go now? Same ones we did before in all the sections. And that's it, and it just flows through. And one neat thing is, where do we go? Where do we go now? That's where the notes are. I had a hell of a time trying to get to where do we go? Where do we go now? That's where they are if you want to pull them out and work your vocals to make sure you're on pitch. But that's the song. Hope you liked it. Subscribe, like, share, all that kind of good stuff. And I got a ton more on my channel, and I'll keep going. So let me know what you think. All right, see you.